Welcome back to Eat, Move, and Live. This is our eighth week. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I am the president of Erica Denise Jackson Foundation. Miss Paulette is going to lead us in with a scripture, and she's going to pray.
Okay, I'm going to read out of Philippians 4:4-8. Let your moderations be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by praying and supplication with thanksgiving, that your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your heart and mind through Jesus Christ. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, and whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things of good report, if these things be any virtue, and if these things any praise, think of these things. Well, now pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for Katie and her team. Thank you for Live, Move, and the third us to do better by your temple, dear Heavenly Father, by eating better, by moving, and in process watching our calories and reading the boxes so that we can lose weight if we need to, or just be healthy altogether. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for all the people that are on this Zoom today, and the ones have been in the past and the ones that hopefully be in the future. I want to thank you for your mercy and your grace, Lord, and these things through Jesus Christ I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
And I forgot to say in Deborah too for her association.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, Miss Deborah.
Thank you. That's okay. That's okay. We're ready to go.
Just FYI, Deborah, your bandwidth, it seems to be a little low. Is it just mine or is hers?
So I just changed it. I'm getting off my tablet now, okay?
Okay, you're fine. Just wanted to know. But okay, so happy Saturday. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for another blessed Saturday to be here with us. So today's topic, we're gonna go ahead and talk about body image. And we have a special guest. Her name is Celine. She is a MPH student at USC, and she is working with us at City of Hope. So I'll go ahead and let Celine introduce the topic for today.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Celine. I'm an intern with City of Hope and Care with the Eat, Move, and Live. So I'll be talking about body image. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you all. All right, so today I'll be talking about body image, and in this presentation, I'll be talking about body dissatisfaction, self-esteem, eating disorders, and positive affirmations in order to love one's body and have positivity. All right. So first we're going to talk about body image. So body image is the mental picture and opinion that one forms of their self based on their feelings, judgment, and reactions from others. And this, of course, develops and changes over time. Later in the presentation, you will see that this does start at a young age and does continue. And then self-esteem is how much a person accepts and values themselves for who and what they are. All right, so body image. So there are a range of views on one's body image. And of course, some people have personal preferences. Everyone has personal preferences of different things. And different people have different views on what they find attractive. And body image can change and is dependent on society and culture. And this has to do with different trends that are in the media, which we will discuss later on in the presentation as well. So some positive body images or positive body, was there something?
Okay. All right, well, tell me when you get here.
Okay, so for a positive body image, it's the clear and true perception of one's body with their shape. You're comfortable, confident, and proud of your body, and you accept your body for what it is. You have the realization that physical appearance doesn't say as much as your character, and value as you are as a person. So what's on the inside is more what's important than what's on the outside. And then you're celebrating and appreciating your body. And then negative body image would be unrealistic views on how you see your body. You're believing your shape and size are a sign that you're a personal failure. You're feeling self-conscious, ashamed, and anxious about your body. You're constantly criticizing yourself for how you look or how you feel. And you're more likely to develop unhealthy eating habits, suffer from depression, have low self-esteem, and suffer from isolation due to negative body image as well. Okay, and then what impacts us the most? So both men and women both suffer from how they feel about their bodies. For women, the top contributors for how they feel about their bodies are social media, TVs and movies, and significant others as well. And then for men, it's significant others being the top contributor, followed by social media and TVs and movies. So for both men and women, the top three are social media, TVs and movies, and significant others on what they see impacts them the most about how they feel about their bodies. And then another statistic shows that 80% of women say the images they see in movies and TVs and magazines and advertisement make them feel insecure. And more than half of teen girls are or think they should be on diets. And most of them want to lose around 40 pounds. And that begins with ages 8 and 14. So of course, with what we see on the media, on TV, wherever we go in the grocery store, when we see newspapers and magazines, there's going to be women in bikinis that are oiled up and shiny and showing their slim figure. And if that's what we're seeing all the time, that's what we think is supposed to be a ideal body, when realistically, that's not the perfect body and the body that everyone has. So another fact is that 70% of 18 to 30-year-olds don't like their bodies, and the weight stigma increases to unhealthy eating behaviors as well. So 50% of girls use unhealthy eating behaviors such as skipping their meals, they're fasting, they're smoking and taking laxatives, such as what you see on TV. Most of the time there's always advertisements on how you can lose 10 pounds in like a week with different pills or gummy vitamins that you can take. And 12 times are more likely to binge eat if you frequent diet. And then I'll go into binge eating more later in the presentation. And 25% are pathological dieters. And this will most likely progress to a full-blown eating disorder in the future. So these are just different sources of body dissatisfaction. So one's weight, their size and shape, different facial features, their height, skin color, and hair texture and length are different sources of body dissatisfaction that people would experience. Okay, so this is a little small, but I'll summarize it to you. So this is statistics on the National Eating Disorder. It states that 30 million people will suffer from an eating disorder throughout their lifetime. For women, 50% use unhealthy eating behaviors to control their weight. So I'll go into depth on those eating disorders later that 50% of women go through to control their weight. And 70% of the number of 18 to 30-year-olds who don't like their bodies. So 70% of those women from 18 to 30s are unhappy with their bodies and they don't like how they look. And for men, 30% of men who binge eat experience depression. And there's also this G.I. Joe complex that men are supposed to have, like huge biceps with 16 inches, a 40-inch chest, and a 29-inch waist. And with that, 43% of men are actually dissatisfied with their bodies. And so now I'll just list the different eating disorders for you. So anorexia nervosa, also called being anorexic, is when you don't eat, you often skip meals, and this is a way for you to lose weight by basically not eating. Bulimia nervosa, also known as being bulimic, is when you would eat a meal and then immediately or shortly after you would vomit that meal up, so it's no longer in your system. And then binge eating disorder is just basically what it's called. You're binge eating. You're eating a large amount of food at one time, or many times actually. So impacts on dieting and health and physical well-being. So due to poor diet, it risks stunning your growth and height. So if you're a young age before adolescence and you're having unhealthy eating habits and behaviors, this will most likely stunt your growth. It also results in lower bone density. It'll delay your puberty as a child if you are experiencing these unhealthy eating habits. It also includes poor health. It'll reduce your learning and memory. So it does infect the inside of your body and your brain based on what you do eat. It also has effects on your dental and vision as well. It also results in fatigue, low energy, and poor sleep. And then, of course, on some eating habits, it will result to obesity and overweight as well. We see celebrities on the beach, very skinny. You can see their bone, and you're seeing them on a public platform and on these outlets being skinny and somewhat of an unrealistic body. Same with men. We see men shirtless in magazines with their 6-pack, 12-pack, 8-pack, whatever pack that they have, just showing themselves shirtless with all their muscles and glistening and giving that men are supposed to be buff and shiny all the time. And then we have Kim Kardashian, which people often, especially now with the age of social media, they state her as having the perfect body and the best butt, even if she does get surgery, that's what she wants to do with it. I'm not against surgery, but that's what people claim is the perfect body, is Kim Kardashian. And then we have models that we see on magazines and on TVs and runways, very skinny, very slim, as well as having this iron body, iron giant men and women who are bodybuilders and have a lot of muscles that we see on magazines and TV as well. And then we have Beyonce, which everyone should know Beyonce, but a lot of people think Beyonce is like the perfect body, like she has a great shape, she has natural this and that. But once again, their images that we see in the media promotes body dissatisfaction, because you're seeing this one thing and thinking, why can't I look like that? And then you start to judge your own body based on what you're seeing in the media. So once again, social media does now play a role. Social media is very common for teens. These social media networks provide opportunities for self-expression and relationships on a public platform. So with the age of social media, there's new applications and social media sites that are being created and built basically all the time. So there's Twitter, where people can tweet how they're feeling or tweet something funny. With Instagram and Snapchat, those are most likely picture-based, so you can post like a selfie or post where you're going, post the outdoors, just an outlet for pictures. Facebook, you can do the status and pictures as well. And then a newer one called TikTok is where people post videos or little snippets of videos. So with the new social media, most of them are image-based, so you're either posting an image or a video, and we'll discuss how that promotes or goes into self-esteem as well. So with social media, among teens active on these platforms, 35% of them report about being worried about people tagging them in unattractive photos, which is also called off guard. So in these photos, one person could post a picture of them in a group of people, but the person posting it is most likely going to focus on themselves in that picture. They want to make sure that they're the one looking 100% fine, that they're not off guard. So if that person posts a photo and tags another photo of the person that's not looking at the camera or was not ready, they're going to be worried that they're not looking their best in the photo that's tagged to their page. And 27% reported feeling stressed out about how they look when they post pictures. So with that, on different posting platforms, you can add filters to a photo to amplify your photo in any way. And then with that, 22% reported feeling bad about themselves when nobody comments or likes their posts. So usually when someone posts a picture onto their page, they go through probably a bunch of photos until they find the right one that they think is perfect enough to post. And when they feel like oh, this is getting no comments. It's not getting any likes. Why isn't my photo good enough? Do I not look good in this photo? Even though before they posted, they thought it looked well, but now that there's minimal interaction with the photo, it'll make them think differently. So that's definitely a role that social media plays, especially among teens and adults even. And then just to remind you all, don't believe everything that you see on the media, especially now with social media. There's new technology that allows people to alter how they look in photos. It's called Photoshop. There's some things called Facetune where you can contour your face, give yourself eyelashes, and just basically change a whole picture of what is reality. And people like to call it Instagram versus reality. So you'll post one thing on social media, but in reality, that's nothing of how it looks in real life. So just remember, don't believe everything that you see on the internet, because you never know if it's photoshopped, you never know if it's filtered, because sometimes when people post images, they like to make it seem what it's not. And then again, with the media and body image, just another statistic. So 47% of girls in 5th to 12th grade reported wanting to lose weight because of magazine pictures. So this shows that throughout life, even at a young age, that girls are affected by body images and what we see in magazines and what we're seeing out there just in like a grocery store, in a magazine, or on TV as well. And with that, 69% of girls in the same grade reported that magazine pictures influenced their idea of a perfect body shape. So once again, seeing these magazines and only a certain people or a person with the same body shape, you're seeing skinny women with shiny arms because they're oiled and in bikinis. So you're seeing that in the magazines often, you're going to think that's the perfect body. And 42% of 1st to 3rd graders wanted to be thinner. So of course, this is a really young age in 1st to 3rd or to 3rd grade, thinking that they're already overweight and wanting to lose weight at that young age. And 81% of 10-year-old girls are afraid of being fat. Okay, so in this slide here, there's 2 images that reflect on having the perfect body. We have the upper left hand corner with the perfect body. We also have the lower right hand corner with the perfect body. So I just wanted to ask all of you, what do both of these perfect body images say to you, and what are they advertising? So if anyone wants to share that or share what they think. Anyone?
There's no such thing as a perfect body.
I agree. Yeah, so I would agree. So anyone else want to share before I go back into the presentation?
This is Norma. I think the one at the bottom relates to me because they're different sizes, and whatever my body shape is, I'm perfect.
Mhm. Anyone else?
I'm just coming in. I missed the.
No, I think it cut out. I'm sorry.
Everybody's body's different. Pear shape, apple shape. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me now? I think everybody's body's different. Pear shape, apple shape. My family's all bigger. None of us are tiny, and to be tiny is unnatural. They have to, and they have been anorexic and bulimic. So I think what God gave us is the best body type.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing. So next, with that, you always want to promote body satisfaction and high self-esteem. So with this, you want to advocate and demonstrate respect for your body as well as the body of others. So of course, loving the skin that you're in, as well as appreciating and respecting those around you as well, and loving their bodies as well. So, and with this, you definitely want to change your thinking. So, you want to examine your own attitudes, beliefs, and prejudice about food, weight, body image, and health and exercise. And you just want to strive for a well-rounded lifestyle through mindful eating and healthy physical activity. And you definitely don't want to treat food as a punishment or a reward. You just want to treat food as food, because oftentimes when you work out and you eat well, and you're just like, okay, I deserve a cookie. Or if you eat bad and you're like, oh, I have to eat a piece of lettuce because I ate bad this week. You don't want to treat food as a reward or a punishment. You just want to treat food as food, which is a nourishment for your body. And that's what it's for. And you don't want to constantly criticize your shape. And you definitely want to promote and celebrate body positivity as much as you can. And then these are just different steps to body positivity. Of course, you just want to appreciate all that your body can do. Our bodies are such complex systems into one that can do so much. It's almost amazing how much your body can do and what it can still do, even without you thinking. Not to get too scientific, but the human body is very amazing. And you just want to keep a top 10 list of things that you like about yourself. And it doesn't even have to be related to your image. You could say, I like that I'm a good baker. I like that I'm a great aunt, because I'm an aunt. So I like being an aunt. So like, oh, I like that I'm an aunt. I like that I like to walk my dog. Just things that you like about yourself. I like my hair. If you want to talk about yourself, I like my nails painted all the time. Just random things that you like about yourself. And it doesn't always have to be related to image as well. And just remember that true beauty is not skin deep. So it's not just the outside that matters, but definitely what's on the inside that's important too. And you definitely want to look at yourself as a whole person. Just you're not your hair, you're not your nose, you're not your fingernails. Like you're a whole person with everything mixed together. So you just want to look at yourself as a whole person. You're not just these set of things that make you. You're a whole person. And you definitely want to surround yourself with positive and supportive people. With that, that means that you have to be supportive and positive to the people around you too. Growing up for me, they'd always say it takes a village to raise a child. And that goes on to when you're an adult too. You can still have a village when you're an adult, and you can have positivity and supportive people around you in that village. So just because you're not a child anymore doesn't mean that you don't need a village. It's still helpful to have a village, a community, and family and friends that still support you with everything. And you definitely want to shut out and shut down the negative voices that say you're not enough, you don't look like this, and just shut those negative voices down, because they get in the way of everything. And you want to do something nice for yourself. Self-care is very important. Even if you want to do a nice face mask, if you want to get your hair done, a nice massage, get your nails done, bake something for yourself, go off to a nice walk, go to the beach and enjoy a sunset. Just do something nice for yourself once in a while that you'll really enjoy. And then next we'll get into a couple of celebrities with body image. So this is Lizzo. Lizzo is a singer. She has a great voice. A lot of people call her brave for being confident, because she is a larger woman, and people do have a lot of negative things to say about her body image, but she's confident enough to block out those negative comments and love her body and love her shape and just being herself. And being herself isn't being brave, since she's just being 100% herself, and she just blocks out the negative comments that people have to say about her. And then we have Serena Williams, who is a talented athlete, great at tennis. And even with her body, she has muscular features, and people would say she has a manly body or masculine body, even though she's talented, athletic. So even if you have a certain body image or a body shape, people are still going to be negative and say negative things about people's bodies, even though these people are very confident with how they look. So these two women shut out the negative comments and focus on what they like and how they are about themselves. And they're confident with themselves, which is something that's very important. So taking a stance against discrimination of people's size. So of course you want to speak up when you see it or hear it. If you hear someone saying like, oh, this person got big or this person's hair is whatever. You just want to shut it down whenever someone is speaking like that to you, because you never know what someone is going through during that time. So you definitely want to shut down if anyone's talking negatively about anyone else's appearance. And for children, you want to get adults to act if a child is being bullied, teased, discriminated against, or anything because of their body size, especially in school for the young children. Based on the statistics that we saw earlier, these comments that children get, it will follow them later in adulthood. So we also want to remind the teachers and parents to not allow anyone to tease or harass a child about their weight or how they look, because once again, even with children, you never know what they're going through or what's going on at home. So you just want to teach basically everyone just to not judge on someone on how they look. Oops, guys. All right. And then, of course, you want to eat and play your way into a healthier you. So, of course, we went over this choosemyplate.gov. You want your plate to look colorful. You have your fruits and vegetables as well as your protein and grains. You want to have a healthy plate for a healthier you. And then these are just different ways you can be healthier. You want to balance your calories. You want to enjoy your food, but eat less and avoid oversized portions. And foods to increase, you always want to make sure half your plates are fruits and vegetables. So this portion of your plate is what I like to call is the pretty portion, because it's just very colorful. It makes your plate just pop out. And you want to make at least half of your grains whole grains. So try to look for good and healthy whole grains when you're going shopping. And of course, you want to switch to fat-free or low-fat 1% milk, or if you're into non-dairy milks, you could do that as well. Just be cautious of what's on the labels. And foods to reduce. So you want to compare the sodium in foods like soup, breads, and frozen meals and choose the one with lower numbers. And of course, you want to drink water instead of different sugary drinks. And of course, foods to reduce, you want to just make sure that you're looking at the nutrition labels that we went through a couple of weeks ago on how you can read that. Look at the sodium, carbs, and the fats and the sugars that are in the foods and on the labels as well. So just remember to be mindful of that. And then focus on your behaviors and not weight. And by behaviors, just things that you're doing personally and not focusing on the number on the scale. So let's say you want to decrease your soda consumption instead of, I want to stop drinking soda so I can lose 10 pounds. So you want to change the behavior. Let's say you want to eat more fruits and vegetables. You want to go outside more and have more physical activity. You're focusing on that behavior instead of focusing on the weight. And let's say you want to limit your fast food and snack food, and you want to limit time spending and watching TV as well. So you're basically focusing on that behavior and that action instead of what's the number on the scale.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Kitty Dawson, Mr. Clark.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then next, you just want to set behavior goals and not weight goals. So with this, like I said earlier, you want to limit the amount of TV and screen time that you have to, let's say, 2 hours per day, or even if you want to reduce your social media that you have on your phone. On iPhones, there's actually a option where you can put a limit to how many hours a day you can go on certain apps, and that's pretty helpful as well. And then let's say you want to go outside and exercise for 60 minutes a day, and you want to do something that you enjoy. So you can like go outside and play tennis. You could ride a bike. You can go walking from home or for school, just doing something every day that'll get you active and something that you enjoy doing. And once again, you always want to eat a lot of healthy fruits and vegetables as well. Okay, and then drinking low-fat or non-fat milk at meals instead of soft drinks, or of course you can drink water as well. And if you're trying to reduce your soft drink intake, you can start to limit yourself to no to very occasional. So just limiting yourself until you get to a point where you feel like you don't have to drink soft drinks. And then of course you want to eat more than 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And then nuts and berries are superfoods that are good for your body as well. Then of course you want to limit the fast food meals to at least once or twice a week, just because some fast food meals and restaurant meals, they might say healthy food, but you don't really know what's inside of those meals. So the way to know what's really inside of those meals is if you cook it yourself. and make it yourself. And then one other thing is just for positive affirmations. So Katie tells me how every day she wakes up and lists 10 things she loves about herself and that she's grateful for. And doing this every morning will definitely help with body positivity and self-love. So listing 5 things you love about yourself. And once again, it doesn't always have to be materialistic. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be things that you're good at. Like I love that I can walk a mile in X amount of minutes. I love my smile. I love my hair. You want to list 5 things that you're grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for waking up this morning. I'm grateful for the sun in the sky, just things that you're grateful for to start off your morning. Because having a positive morning will definitely help you get through the day. And with all this body image, you just want to remember that you were made the way you are. God made everyone perfectly in his own image, and you should love the body you're in, love the skin that you're in, and just know that you were made perfectly for a reason. And just continue to have these positive affirmations for yourself in the morning, just knowing that you love yourself, you love your skin. I love that I have everything I have. I'm strong, I'm beautiful. So just wake up and have these positive affirmations and just see how it brightens your day and continues to make you feel more positive about yourself. And then that's all I have for today. If you have any comments, I'm more than welcome to hearing them.
Thank you so much, Celine. It was a great presentation. You did it wonderful. Any comments or opinions or suggestions or something that you practice? Perfect. Anything?
One thing that I like saying in the morning, when I get up early in the morning, to give thanks to God for seeing another day. But I always tell myself, I feel great for being here. And I tell myself, even when I don't feel good, I tell myself I feel good.
Yes.
And, I psych myself out.
No, that's good. It's just starting off your morning, setting the tone for the rest of the days. That's wonderful. Thank you, Deborah. Anybody else would like to add to what Deborah said?
I would. I don't think that's psyching yourself out, Deborah. We don't give enough credit to what our brain does.
Mm-hmm.
And our brain actually puts things into motion. So there are things, there's a thing that's called training your brain, and we need to train our brain into positive things. So even if you're not feeling so great when you wake up in the morning and you give your prayers and your thanks to God and you tell him, I thank you for this, that, and the other, you are training your brain. You're telling your brain what your body's going to do. So you're taking control. You're taking a part of control of the situation. Your brain puts out a lot of endorphins and all that other stuff that affects your body. So you're telling your brain what to do. You're helping your body. You're not psyching yourself up, but you're telling yourself, this is what we're going to do today. So it's okay to say, yeah, I got these aches and pains, but I feel good and everything's going to be all right, and move through. Then you're telling your body, this is what we're going to do. So I think that's just a positive affirmation. You tell yourself, I am well today, because you got God behind you that's going to support that.
Yeah. And that's what we also have to, part of those positive affirmations is also, what are we grateful for? Sometimes we forget how blessed we are, right? Especially during these times of the pandemic, right? We're alive another day. We have food on the table. I'm able to, like Celine said, I'm still able to walk a mile, whether maybe perhaps you can run it. You're still able to do it. And we shouldn't take for granted for the blessings that we have. So just waking up and reminding ourselves what we're grateful for and setting the tone for the rest of the day is just a good way to, I'm not sure who said it, Miss Richardson, right? She said, training your mind. So with that being said, I also that also goes into play with the chair yoga that we'll be doing, right? A lot of times you think chair yoga, what does it do for me? Is it just breathing exercises? What's the deal with that? But it's really just training your mind to be fully aware of your body and to not take for granted what we do, right? We're breathing. We naturally don't focus on it because it's something that it automatically does, but actually, taking those deep breaths, and to help you relieve some stress, help you, reduce the chances of injuries, all of that. It's very important. And a lot of times we can't do it because you have to be in such a mind of calmness. And we're used to being on the go, just our mind, right? Thinking one thing or another, that we don't give ourselves that time to relax and,
Katie,
self-care. Any
Katie,
more comments?
yes. Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, earlier this week I received, some of the other, someone else on the line probably received it too. A text that says, one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day.
Mhm.
And I shared that with a few people because I believe that, how we start our day, if we start our day in a positive thought, like Yvette Richardson was saying, it can make us have a better day, a more positive day.
Thank you for sharing, and I agree. Another example that I wanted to share with everyone is, a lot of times we are hesitant to exercise, right? When you're like, oh, I'm lazy today, I'm so tired, I'm not gonna do nothing today, I'm just exhausted. What do you think the rest of your day is gonna look like? Right?
Exhausting.
Exactly. So you're really not going to do nothing. And then it just becomes this vicious cycle where you're just like, I don't want to cook. I'm just lazy. I'm just going to eat whatever's out there, or I'm just going to stop by McDonald's. And it just plays out for the rest of your day. Could even go into your week, could go into the month, becomes your lifestyle, right? So it's the same thing we have to do, but reverse, right? So you have to tell yourself, even me, what I do is I tend to wake up and I say, okay, I'm going to exercise today. So because of my very busy, unpredictable schedule, because I'm a new mom, I tend to put on my exercise clothes in the morning. And I tell myself, I put this clothes on because I'm going to exercise. And the reason why I feel like it's important for me to tell myself I'm going to exercise, because 3-4 hours down within the day, I'm like, oh, I'm just tired. I don't want to do it, right? But because I already told myself, I put on this exercise clothes, I'm going to do it, I end up doing it. Whether it's 5 p.m. and I haven't done it, I will end up doing it even if it's 8 p.m., right? And I'll tell you this is how exercise works. We always say we're too tired to exercise, when in reality, all you need is a good amount of time to exercise. And guess what? It gives you energy. It gives you, and it sets the tone for the rest of your day. So that's how powerful your mind is. You just have to tell yourself what you're going to do, that you're going to enjoy it, and the benefits will be there and you will see the benefits. But you have to really start with what you're thinking, what you're telling yourself, and setting the tone. So if there's no more comments, if there is comments, just let us know, or you could go ahead and write on the chat. We're going to go ahead and transition to the food demo. Celine has the honor to also lead the food demonstration for today. So I'll go ahead and hand it over back to Celine.
Okay, so for the food demonstration, I wanted to do a meal that I usually like to eat. So for me and my culture in a Black family, we usually like to eat green beans. I love green beans, but we usually put meat in it, like bacon or turkey neck. So I was thinking of something that could be a healthy alternative instead of using like the regular bacon and turkey neck, even though it's delicious. So I found this recipe, and I also made a salmon too on the side. Let's see, let me switch it this way. Okay, that works. So the green beans, you guys all got the recipe. It has sauteed onion and garlic in it. And for me, in this recipe, I put too much pepper this time. So when I make it again, I won't put as much pepper, and I probably will put a bunch more garlic because I like a lot of garlic, but it still had great flavor. And this time I used fresh green beans, because usually when my family makes green beans, we'll use it out of a can. But this time with the fresh green beans, it definitely helped enhance the natural flavor of the onion and the garlic. So I would definitely recommend doing the fresh green beans. But if you have the canned green beans as well, you can still just rinse out the water or the green bean juice and just rinse off the green beans just to make sure they don't have the extra salt on them, and then add the ingredients as well. And using the, well, for me personally, using the fresh green beans, it was really fun to do just because snapping the green beans was actually really fun and kind of therapeutic. So it was fun to do. And it wasn't too difficult to make either. It took like about 10 to 15 minutes just to make. I used two different, I had a pot and a pan just so I could saute the onion and garlic together and then add the ingredients. And then I also did a salmon. I just did this in the oven. And then on the recipe, I said you can sprinkle paprika or cayenne pepper. I did paprika just because I am a little sensitive to spicy, and I did the paprika just because I like my salmon to have a little more color when I eat it. And then I have like a little lime wedge that I'll juice on when it's time to eat it, but not at the moment. I'll eat it later probably, and I'll put the lemon juice on it. And then just a side of the grain. I usually use brown rice, but I didn't have brown rice on me, so I just had a little section of white rice, minute rice today. But yeah, I just want to make sure that your plate is half of the green vegetables, and then your protein, your grain, and then anything else you want on the side. So yeah, the green beans are actually really good. I would recommend it, even if on different days, if I have more family over, if someone in my family makes the bacon and turkey neck green beans, I would definitely recommend the fresh green beans. They're really good, really delicious. You can definitely taste it. But even without the meat, with just the onions and the garlic, they still have a bunch of flavor as well. And I topped it off with the dried basil, so it definitely added more flavor. So I would highly recommend you try it, or if you wanted to try it and just tweak the recipe your own way, you could try that as well, because after doing this the first time, I know that I wouldn't add as much pepper as I would this time. So definitely try it and see how you would fix it, or if you would keep it the same, or what you would add instead.
Anything you would do different? Any recommendations? Something, or perhaps it's something that you are interested in, perhaps making at home yourself?
Hey, I was going to say that's exactly how I make my green beans, my collard greens, my kale, and my turnip greens. I learned to just simply saute. I mostly use the minced garlic in a jar in extra virgin olive oil. So I saute that, and actually I add chicken broth. And then I add the greens. But I learned how to basically make vegetables without having to, because I used to think growing up you had to cook your vegetables all day long because that's what I saw. But what I learned that you didn't necessarily have to do that, because I really enjoy eating collard greens. And I learned that you can make those in like a matter of minutes, maybe. That's how I started to do it. Basically, I saute the garlic and sometimes onion, and then use chicken broth and add the vegetables, and that's it. So yes, I like that meal.
I had a question. Are you blanching the green beans, or are they are they soft, or are they hard when they're done? Are they still a little crispy when they're done?
So you could cook it to your preference. For me, I had them soft, but not too soft where they were mushy. So I cooked the green beans in like a half cup of water and had that on medium heat for about like 10 minutes. And then I added the sauteed onion and garlic into that same pot where they were cooking, and cooked that for like about 5-ish minutes, really. So it's really up to your preference.
Mushy.
Yeah, so they weren't mushy because I didn't want them to be mushy, but it's definitely up to your preference. You can time it, or you can like poke at it to see how soft you want it. So it's definitely your preference on how you want them to be cooked. And
Sounds really good.
Yeah, I like it. Just you gotta test around and see what's the perfect recipe that you like for it.
Not too much salt. I have to take salt out of my diet. So The pepper sounds really
Yeah, so this recipe for the green beans, it didn't have any added salt. So that was a good thing. It just had pepper and dried basil. And then the rest was just the fresh green beans, onions, and garlic. So there wasn't any added salt into the recipe.
Oregano will give it a good flavor too. So you could try
Yeah.
basil, oregano, and just also be mindful with your seasonings. If you want to add garlic powder or onion powder, just make sure that it's just onion powder. It's not onion, garlic salt, or, because there'll just be so many hidden sodium within these seasonings as well. So it's better for you to have individual seasonings, such as like dry oregano, dry basil leaves, or cilantro, or garlic, whatever seasonings you have, but just by themselves, so you don't get these mixed seasonings that have lots of sodium in them. Okay. So if there's no more comments or questions, are you guys ready to do some chair yoga? I showed you guys some poses last week. I actually want to go ahead and host a small little 10-minute yoga, chair yoga, where we're going to go ahead and try to relax and get into more of a meditation mindset, start a little practice of self-care. I know it's difficult. As I mentioned before, it's very hard for us to kind of relax, especially when we're in the middle of the day and there's so much going on. But if you guys are willing to, we could do a short 10-minute. Is that okay? Is that something you guys are interested in? I'll have some music playing in the background. Okay, perfect. I saw a yes in the chat, so let's do this. Okay. Okay, so try to relax. You're gonna go ahead and just use a chair. To sit, do not use the backrest. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and relax. Start focusing on your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Okay, place your arms next to your body, palms facing forward. Palms facing inwards, and exhale. As you exhale, let your shoulders roll back and relax. towards bring your forehead as close as possible to your knees. This position should feel comfortable for you. It should not cause any pain. You're just stretching out your spine. As you exhale, lengthen your spine, stretch your back as much as possible. Inhale, lengthen, and bring your back upright in a seated position. Bring left arm towards your back, followed by the right one. Placing both forearms on your lower back. In this position, as you breathe in, stretch your shoulders back, pulling them back, opening your chest. As you inhale, arch your back, bring your chin upwards, and as you exhale, bend your spine, bringing your chin inwards towards your chest. I'm going to go ahead and repeat and alternate between the cow and cat pose. Seated twist. So you're going to go ahead and bring your left arm to hold onto the back of your chair. bring the right hand, hold the bottom of the chair. Again, you shouldn't force this twist. You can go ahead and leave your right hand over your leg if needed. In this position, again, we're going to go ahead and practice some breathing exercises. Hand over your leg, followed by the left. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing on our right side. I'm going to go ahead and get a back view so you can see exactly what it should look like. Exhale, bring your left hand over your leg, followed by the right. We're going to go ahead and the 3 breathing exercises in mountain pose with palms facing forward. Chair yoga, wiggling your fingers, coming back. Go ahead and roll your shoulders down. So it was a quick little 10-minute exercise, chair yoga exercise. What did you guys think? Is it something you guys could possibly do on your own? Okay, I saw that someone said yes. Perfect. Okay, so I emailed you guys the instructions of you being able to do this at home. What you could do is just print them out or leave them on your screen, and as you practice, you will know exactly what to do. Remember, practice makes perfect, and just give yourself 10 minutes at least once a week to go ahead and practice chair yoga. As I said, it has tons of benefits, from helping you release stress, better oxygen intake, just tons of benefits, reduces the risk of injury. Give yourself that break, right? Sometimes self-care is not always going to get a facial, a massage. It literally could be a 10-minute meditation, a little 10 minutes of chair yoga, okay?
That relaxing music is half the deal, isn't it?
Exactly. So any comments? I saw that Tammy Darko, you have not been getting the emails. Do you mind, Tammy, sharing your email address on the chat? You could send it to me or to Mireya private. So if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Okay. Tammy, were you enrolled in the program? Mireya, is she on the roll sheet?
I've been enrolled several times.
Okay, I don't mind adding you too, so you can get all the emails.
On the truck road.
Thank you.
Okay, Katie, what week are we in?
We are week 8. So, okay, so I'm glad you asked that question. So there are 3 weeks left. You don't want to miss the 3 weeks. You guys are on your way out. And remember, attendance is very important to receive your Fitbit. If you could see all those boxes I have here, look, I have a ton of boxes. So I mail out all the Fitbits. At the end, we do a raffle prices. So those boxes there are raffle prices I have to mail out. And attendance is important, right? The next 3 weeks are, we have 4 weeks left, but 3 weeks of presentations. The fourth week, the last week, we do the raffle and the, goodbye type of meeting. We're going to cover eating healthy on a budget. So we're going to do a virtual grocery store tour, which is great. It gives you wonderful tips of how to shop. And we're also going to do a presentation on how to reduce your food waste. So how to store your food to keep it have it last longer, and how to store it so in order it doesn't go bad as quick, right? And then we will cover heart disease. So I pushed heart disease all the way to the end since Deborah did host a heart workshop. So I wanted to go ahead and still cover it for those who couldn't attend. But I left it towards the end, and we'll go in detail of, we'll talk about cholesterol, heart disease, hypertension, etc. And then it'll be our last week where we do just like a little, motivational goodbye meeting, and we host a raffle, and then and that's it. And again, this program doesn't mean it's the end of our relationship. So no worries. We will be in touch with Deborah and with every single one of you as well. You guys all have my email. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Deborah so we can end our meeting with a nice prayer.
I put in everyone's chat box to tell you that we are recording these. So anything that you miss and you want to go back, I put Erica's website so you can go in there, go to the event page, scroll down to educational, and you can always go back over it. And once again, I want to thank everyone for being here today. And I'm going to try to pray us out today. I want to thank everybody for being here again. And let's bow our head for the prayer. I want to thank Heavenly Father for Katie and Celine, City of Hope, and for their staff for doing a wonderful job, and continue them to be blessed and continue to give them the knowledge so that they can educate other people, because without them taking their time out to give us their knowledge, we might not know what to do if things come in for us. I want to thank God to continue to bless every one of y'all for participating and the ones that could not be here. And I want God to continue to keep us safe and bless our family and keep us in safe for the COVID. Amen.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, everyone, for taking your time to be here. And thank you, Celine. You did amazing, and the food looks delicious. So I hope you enjoy it.